To the Serve Houston info session. This is probably the millionth Zoom call that you have been on. But we're going to try to make it very interesting and very engaging for everybody. We're really excited about this project, Serve Houston. It's been there for a while before, but now we're just starting it back again. And so there's so many things to say about Serve Houston, but our motto is kind of like learn, lead, and impact. And the way I think about it is Serve Houston is like a service corps of diverse young adults that are serving together as ambassadors to strengthen the health and well-being of Houston's most vulnerable communities. And these are communities that at Interfaith we serve every day. Through the successful completion of service projects in small teams, ambassadors are prepared to become aspiring servant leaders in any of the industries. So ultimately, we want to empower our young leaders towards a career of service, to give them the tools necessary for them to use this service experience and apply it to every aspect of life, because we understand no matter where we are in life, we don't stop giving back.
That's right.
So with that, I think we can kind of go around and everybody can introduce each other, and then we can kind of talk more about the program itself.
Wonderful. I'm Gayla Wilson. I'm the program manager for Volunteer Houston, and I have been very much engaged with the Serve Houston Ambassador Program when our CEO and chair, Martin Kaminsky, brought this idea to Volunteer Houston to have us to help develop what this program is becoming. So it became much bigger than we envisioned. And so we were able to recruit some great minds to serve on this committee as well, to really help form and fashion this program for what it's going to be. And I think Camille touched on a very important point about servant leaders and introducing service to so many young adults and just adults in general. And I think one of the beauties of this program, and one of the things that I've always felt was at its very core, is that it had to the members have to represent the diversity of Houston. Otherwise, it doesn't really represent the most diverse city in the country. And so that's always been one of the things I've always fought for, is that we have to make sure that the members, that the ambassadors look like the people that they're going to be serving. And so many times these type of opportunities for service are not always available, accessible, or even made aware to individuals in a lot of underserved communities or communities of diversity. So our goal is to make sure that we don't miss a population that could potentially have an opportunity, because sometimes, you have to be able to reach those who sometimes are considered to be unreachable. So that's one of the main things that's so important to me and for all of us on this, on the Serve Houston team, is to make sure that we are truly representative of who it is that we are trying to serve and to reach. So with that, I'm going to introduce Jay Harburg. And he is chair of the Interfaith Ministries board.
Thank you for doing this. Thank you for being part of this. I know we're going to have several of these. I'll tell you, the board and I are very excited about this program, this project. We expect that this pilot will, under your tutelage and with your help, is going to just be spectacular, and it will become a regular ongoing program. First pilot is 6-7 months.
6 months.
6 months, but going forward, we're hoping for 1-year terms.
Mm-hmm.
We really think that this is something that's going to be another star in our crown, or
yes,
diamond in our crown, however you're supposed to say that.
Yes.
But thank you both for being here and participating. And the one thing I do want to tell you is I may turn my screen off from time to time, because I'm going to take my computer into the other room. This is my third I am Zoom today, and I haven't eaten anything since 8 o'clock
this is
morning.
my second.
So this is my third. So I may carry the computer with me, and I don't want to make y'all seasick walking through my house. So I will be back. I'm not leaving. I'm not playing checkers when I'm not when you can't see me, but I'm still here.
Not to worry, not to worry. Monique, can you share, can you introduce yourself and share a little bit about what you do for Meals on Wheels?
Yes, I am a BSW, which is a Bachelor of Social Work student. So I do the student intern over here with the assessors, the customer service department, as well as the intake. Um, I'm under Miss Alicia Dominy.
Mhm.
I'm not if you know who she is. So I work with her and do a lot with the other intern students.
Wonderful. Well, welcome TSU in the house.
Thank
And
you.
Linda, can you unmute and tell us who you are and kind of how you found out about this Serve Houston promoter opportunity?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Linda Carper. I am with Greater First Baptist Church and Hope Health Outreach Prevention and Education Ministry. And I
Wonderful.
actually found out about this morning. I was on a call. Pastor Thompson asked me to sit in with the interfaith session
Mhm.
as they
Our
talked
faith
about
leaders call.
COVID.
Yes, ma'am. Mhm.
Yeah, and so they mentioned Serve Houston, and I also work with our scholarship team. And we're wanting to encourage our applicants and even the youth at church to volunteer more. They don't see the
Yes.
importance of volunteering. And I'm always volunteering. So I thought this would be a great opportunity for me simply because I was laid off December 31st from Sodexo. So I was
Mhm.
like, oh, okay. Well, let me just check this out. I could be a great promoter. And I'm also a health ambassador facilitator for our National Baptist Convention USA Incorporated. So I'd like to share those training sessions and then post the Serve Houston flyer on our website too, because that is wonderful. I had never heard of Serve Houston. And with Pastor Thompson's insistence, since I'm not working, they think I work at Greater First. So I'm like, yes, sir, I'll do a Zoom. So I've been on the calls and it's been very interesting, I must say. I'm like, okay, this could be my job.
Yeah.
This could be it. And I am a Walden University doctoral student. So lift me up in prayer. I've submitted chapter 3. I've received my feedback from my chair. So I do have to make some adjustments to my chapter 3. And I'm working on that and hopefully get that into him by the weekend.
Wonderful.
Woo, already. But I would
Wonderful.
love this opportunity, and I think it would be great experience for me and even for the youth in our community because we don't volunteer enough to me.
Thank you. Thank you. So Camille's going to share a screen and we're just going to go through kind of a little bit about the promoter playbook and kind of the role that the promoters ideally will play.
Okay.
And I shared the link with you all on chat. So if you want to open on your end and kind of go along with it, that'll be fine. And I'll try to give a synopsis of it as well. So we have plenty of time to engage for questions.
Camille, do you want to do a share screen where we're looking at what you're looking at, or do you want us to open it up ourselves?
Either way, whatever you prefer. I have it open on my email, but if you want to open it on your own Word, then let me just share my screen and see what you think. Here,
Okay.
let's do that. In case you wanted to have reference to it again, then that's something that you can do. So can you guys?
Right, you've got the perfect, yeah.
Okay, perfect. So that's our Serve Houston logo. And I got to be honest with you, this is the most discussion we've ever had when creating a logo because for any program I've been a part of, because we wanted it to be something that's personal, something that reflects us, reflects the city of Houston. And of course, we have the iconic skyline in the background. In fact, I've lived in other places in the country, but whenever I come back to Houston H-Town and I see that skyline, for me, I'm home. You have that Be Someone graffiti sign, and it's just a whole different mood. And so that's why I really appreciate this logo. So we can talk a little bit about the contents about Serve Houston. So I kind of gave you the spiel about what Serve Houston is in the beginning, but I think we can talk about mission We want to establish a positive and lasting impact on the greater Houston community through organized service, excuse me, and leadership by young adults. The vision is we will inspire the next generation of servant leaders through community service, civic engagement, and leadership development experiences. Now, anyone that's run a program knows that it's hard to encompass everything that you're about to do in one sentence. So while I read all that those are a lot of buzzwords, but they have so much meaning and so much depth to them. And that's something we want to discuss, what those words means, what civic engagement means, you know, what leadership development means. And so we hope to cover that and unravel that through different means, through trainings as well as when they're going through their projects. There's some important dates, of course. The application is now open. So please share in your networks to the people that you know. And the application will be closed on March 31st, 2021. April 30th, the candidates, they'll receive the final notification. May 18th, the lead ambassadors begin training. And this is something important to distinguish what the lead ambassadors are versus the ambassadors. The lead ambassadors are going to be project leads for the projects that are proposed within the IM staff. So departments within Interfaith are all going to be submitting different proposals to us, and then we'll have our leadership committee that'll ultimately decide what's the best project moving forward. And there's going to be 3 projects with 5 folks in it each. So you're looking at a cohort of 15 people. And ultimately, the lead ambassadors will have the same training and the same opportunities as the ambassadors, but they're going to have some extra training, and they'll be working a few extra hours than the ambassadors themselves. So those are some of the distinctions between the two. And then all ambassadors begin service in May at the end of the semester. Currently, we have started recruiting, and we're looking at high schools around the Houston area, especially for seniors that are set to graduate in May. Excuse me. And so ultimately, we're still doing that. We've recruited through social media as well. We've asked our partners, our volunteers, everyone to spread the word. And we ask you to do that too. If you know anybody that's interested, if they're a senior or they're an underclassman at a university, then they're looking for an opportunity to not only have a meaningful experience, but also get paid for it, right? Because we understand some of the hardest things youth students have to go through is unpaid internships. And I can write a book on the ethicality of unpaid internships. Now's not the time, but I can. And so, but we're not like that. We want to make sure that you know, they don't have to sacrifice their standard of living to participate in this program as well. And Ms. Gayla, you want to do the next part and we can kind of go back and forth?
Sure. Sure. So ultimately, what is a promoter? And basically a promoter is what you all are doing. You know, you're going to be the people that will be the eyes and ears in some areas that maybe we're not aware of, or we just don't have those relationships where you can actually go out and share this information. Ms. Linda, you mentioned about sharing it with the youth in your church and your scholarship committee. Again, you know, it is true. There are a lot of children that are very involved within the walls of their faith communities, volunteer opportunities, a lot of work within the walls of the church or the temple, the worship facility, but they're not necessarily aware or always doing work outside in the community. So we want to make sure that those individuals that you recognize have this skill set or this leadership ability or this passion about service to have the opportunity to apply. And so really the promoter is just what it is. It's spreading the word and making people aware of the benefits of the program. And again, this pilot program is for 6 months. Working toward potentially a 10-month to a 12-month program that would be a version of AmeriCorps VISTA program. So promoters are basically going to be the people that will help us spread this opportunity to youth across every platform. We only have a couple of more sessions left. So we do still have time for individuals to register. That's next Thursday, the 4th, and then the following Tuesday, the 9th. So the information that you've got, the playbook has all types of logos and information that you have access to. So a little bit about who we're recruiting. You know, pre-college, post-college. So the age minimum, if I remember, because we've gone back and forth, I think you have to be at least 18 in order to apply. So it could be someone who is getting ready to graduate from high school and will be turning 18 when the semester ends. Maybe they're not sure what they're going to do as soon as they graduate from high school, or maybe the financial resources are not as plentiful. So possibly the idea of having a stipend toward their education would help. So if it's a gap year student, if it's anybody that's interested in pursuing a nonprofit career, we just want service-minded individuals who are willing to give 20 hours a week of their time to help build a better community. And so there's a lot of different traits, as we've said before, and characteristics. They do have to be able to pass a criminal background check. And so all this information is in the playbook, either have their diploma or an equivalent by the beginning of the service period. So if they're going into their junior year, and they're turning 18, unfortunately, even though they meet the age threshold, they don't meet the one of the qualifications in order to apply, because this is 20 hours a week and they have to be able to devote that time. And again, just as long as they have a desire and an aspiration to serve, again, GAP students, just recently graduated and not sure what they're going to do. They do have to have access to webcam and the internet, because some things will be virtual to begin with, and then potentially transition in person. And then just all the basics, you know, convey a meaningful connection, if it's either by their residency or any other affiliation. So you don't have to be, you have to be born in Houston to have a meaningful connection, is ultimately what's important here. Camille, you want to go to the next one? Yeah. So there's different terms that you'll hear us use. We refer to them as
excuse me, before you go to the terms, I have a couple of quick questions.
Yes.
The program, if I remember correctly, starts
May 31st. Mm-hmm.
Do the high schools all graduate by May 31st? I know some used to graduate in June. If they're eligible for graduation, that still counts, right? Or not? Because otherwise we lose this
Yes.
year.
If they're eligible for graduation, it still counts. And that may be something we need to discuss in regards if we happen to have someone who maybe doesn't graduate until June the 6th. But I think as long as they're eligible and can show proof that they will graduate, that should suffice.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. So again, you'll hear us talk about terms, certain specific terms such as ambassadors. We refer to the members as ambassadors, you know, because we think that there's a lot of ownership, you know, when you have a certain title as opposed to just being, and not that there's anything wrong with being called a volunteer, but we think that there is a level of pride in being known as a Serve Houston ambassador. One of the things that's important to note is that there's going to be a capstone project, and this will be a service project. It will be virtual due to CDC guidelines and COVID protocols that we're still in the midst of. But this will be a service project that they will develop and do on their own. So they'll have guidance and instruction and some support from leadership, but the whole idea is for them to engage in a project that they feel like that they have skin in the game, so to speak. You know, rather than being voluntold project, they actually have a say-so in the project that they're going to develop, which is their capstone project. If they are successful in completion of the Serve Houston program, there is an education award that they can apply for, that they can receive, that can apply toward tuition or fees or even existing student loans. And if you're, well, some of you may not be like me, but I know I was probably well into my early 30s before I paid off college loans. So I'm hoping nobody tries to find me for that last probably, cafeteria bill I didn't pay or something. And then Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston is the administrator of this program. We are a 501c3 nonprofit organization that brings people of diverse faith traditions together for dialogue, collaboration, and service as a demonstration of our shared belief. That is our mission, and that is what we stand by, and that is what we do every day. We don't deviate. That is our mission. That is what we do. Camille mentioned our lead ambassadors, and they'll be individuals who will help to supervise their specific team, and they'll begin a couple of weeks earlier, and they may be individuals that have maybe more of a leadership mindset. Maybe they've had a lead role in volunteering and things like that. So that's who the lead ambassadors will be. They will receive a stipend, and then the leadership team, last but not least, will consist of 3 members of our executive leadership team for Interfaith Ministries and 5 staff members. So we are busy, are we not, Camille?
We're real busy.
Okay, you want to take it from there?
Yeah. Sorry, you did paid service, right? Is that where I'm at?
I did, yes.
Okay, so promoter. So again, a representative from any organization or school whose membership generally reflects the targeted audience for Serve Houston ambassadors, someone who is the liaison between the Serve Houston leadership team and their members, and of course promoters are so necessary. The Serve Houston leadership team consists of 3 members of the executive leadership team at Interfaith, 5 staff members, including me and Ms. Gayla, from various departments and programs within Interfaith, and 1 AmeriCorps Vista member. And I can't remember the last time the Department of Interfaith came together for a program like this on such a high scale. So this is an amazing effort, not just on the program, but the fact that different departments who serve clienteles from various backgrounds are coming together and working together as we are. And I think that that's significant to point out.
We're on a lot of team calls and Zoom calls, and sometimes the dings from the comments are like, because we are just flying comments back and forth. So yes.
Absolutely. And it gives us a great opportunity to get to know colleagues outside and what they're doing as well, because there's always potential for collaboration. And we as an organization are always working together, which is amazing. The team project, of course, is a service project completed by a team of 3 to 5 ambassadors during a program term. And, we're not just assigning them something to keep them busy. We need to specify that, because we are going to be analyzing the service areas of each department, and each department is going to take time to make a proposal about where these students can benefit. We want them ultimately to graduate from this program and leave and look back and say, not only that I made that impact, but I'm still making that impact. And we see that with our volunteers too, rarely do we see volunteers just come once through our doors, because after a while, they claim that cause and they have ownership over that cause. And we want to give these ambassadors ownership and agency over the cause they care about as well. So.
Exactly. And one of the things that's important to know is that, I think Camille referenced during some of the training that they'll go through, they'll have training that they will have to complete on a weekly basis. And we're talking about everything from public speaking, learning about, how development and fundraising works within a nonprofit. So they will truly walk away with some tangible skills, ideally, that maybe they had an interest but didn't really quite know. And so this will really help give them a wonderful overview of Interfaith Ministries, all of its programming, but then the opportunity to learn from some subject matter experts within our organization as well as external about just all different areas of how they can become better servant leaders through this program. So they definitely will have some great training opportunities that they'll have a chance to deal with, and then just some great leadership and mentoring by our organization as a whole, our board, and our staff. So.
Absolutely. And so the benefits, of course, these are the selling points, right? Like, why do I want to be an ambassador if I'm in school right now? I have other things going on. Why do I want to do more virtual programming? How is this beneficial to me? Because that's really the mentality that a student thinks with, you know, and I'm sure at some point we've all been students. We're students every day, right? So ambassadors, their program participants, they get a flexible schedule. It's about flexibility, because we know that they have different class, and class is their priority. We want them to excel in what they're currently doing, or if they do have jobs. Again, as you notice down there, we'll go and we'll talk about the fact that we pay them. That's a big deal, because that creates a barrier to entry for a lot of demographics. There I go on my soap about paying our interns. Okay, I'll come back. Project management experience, of course, that's important, because they'll actually get to do the project, and the lead ambassadors are going to be getting even more project management training that Ms. Gayla alluded to. Nonprofit operations experience. We want them to know what nonprofit organizations are. I remember when I came in this field and I told my immigrant parents that I'm working in the nonprofit sector, they gave me a weird eye and said, "So you're not going to make any profit?" And well, it's true, but I'm just kidding. No. I had to tell them, you know, I mean, like, but we want to clear different, you know, misconceptions about the nonprofit sector and what that organization entails. Servant leadership mindset, just the mindset to serve, you know, the mindset. Life is hard for a lot of us. We're going through a pandemic. We're going through so many personal trials and tribulations, but we wake up every day and we know that through service, it's not only that we are enriching the lives of someone else, it's also because we're enriching our own lives. You know, people are happier when they give. So I think that kind of mindset and communicating that is very important. Compassion for undeserved population. I mean, that just goes without saying. Teamwork, resume building experiences. This is a big one. We want them to know that they're working for a prestigious nonprofit that's been here for over 50 years. We want to give them professional training opportunities so they can say, hey, I got this portfolio of work, and when I apply for jobs in my future, I have a chance of getting those jobs. And ultimately, we want to open up this experience to students in diverse communities that might not have a chance, right? So we're looking at inner high school to recruit from. We're looking at high schools with refugee populations. We want to have a diverse group of people that come with so many different mindsets and backgrounds as well. So there is the $1,000 education award. There is the $600 per month as well, which is based on an hourly wage. As I mentioned earlier, they're going to be treated as part-time employees in terms of classification. The lead ambassadors, they'll earn $900 per month, receive a $1,500 education award, and receive additional leadership development training prior to the start of the program. And I just want to let everybody know and remember that this is the first time we're doing this. I mean, the way that it's being done right now. So if there's things that we can do better, we definitely have mechanisms in place to evaluate the program and make those improvements going forward in the future. And so I'm not exactly sure, Ms. Gayla, what this part is about. I don't know.
So I think, so what the information is here is really, if you click on the email that you would have received, you should have had an active link. So let's say, for instance, if you want to post something virtually, Ms. Linda, on the church's website, or share on your social media, that information on that link has all of the images and things like that in terms of different types of collateral. There is a sample email if you want to send it out to some friends and colleagues and family members. So it's just additional marketing information that you can use if you want to add it to your signature line for your email. So it's just additional information that is available.
Okay.
Did anybody have any questions? Brittany, did you or Ms. Linda have any questions? I'm sorry, Monique, did you or Ms. Linda have a question so far?
Not so far. I'm excited to get started, as I'm like, okay, I'm the promoter now. All right. I like that.
No, I don't have a question at this time.
Okay, okay. Jay, do you want to add anything at this point?
You on mute. Unmute yourself.
And that's all I got to say about that. No, like I said before, very exciting. I think it's going to be a great program. You guys covered it, from head to toe, and I think we're all raring to go. And I do have one question. Is there any kind of essay or something in the application where they say what they hope to get out of it or what their experience is that helps them to be qualified? How do you distinguish when somebody comes in and says, I want to be in the program and maybe I want to be, a lead ambassador? Is there a distinction other than them raising their hand or checking a box?
Camille, I know Henna is working on the application, or Henna and Lauren. So that's not my area. I'm kind of on the capstone side. But I believe that there are some specific requirements, like maybe a writing sample or something. Camille, do you know specifics?
Yeah, I don't know the specifics for the lead ambassadors, but I know that when we were writing out the job descriptions for the lead ambassadors, we anticipated that they would already be in college, whereas the regular ambassadors, they could be taking that gap year. And then, of course, also we wanted to look at the lead ambassador's resume for previous volunteer experience. We are anticipating that all candidates are going to come in with a certain set of computer skills, just because this is going to be a virtual program. So it's going to require a lot of virtual collaboration as well. But for specific, I think distinctions, I think the lead ambassadors would need to be in college, have some relevant volunteer experience in the nonprofit sector as well. And that's the main difference.
So are the applications finished? Are they ready to go out to people yet?
Yeah, there's an active link because we already have 10 applicants so far.
So if I wanted to see an application, I can just click a link somewhere?
Mm-hmm. Or we can send you the
playbook?
link to the application.
Okay.
And when I clicked on it this morning and went to look at the lead ambassador and the promoter, it did allow me to submit an application, but it said it wasn't complete until I submitted a resume.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, that's all I have to add. I'm here as something a little bit more than a fly on the wall, but I'm just loving it. And I wanted to make sure I saw one of these presentations. I've got some people I'm going to send out some emails to try to get into this part of the program.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to know what they were up against. So
yeah.
Good job. Thank you.
Well, Jay is more than a fly on the wall. He's a very supportive board member and chair, and he's definitely hands-on. And, if we have something going on, he is truly one of the first people that will raise his hand and help. So, I've had him volunteer projects, and he's out there, the community gardens, and working. So, everybody at IM has to work. You can't just come and sit.
That's right.
You
and the
gotta
whole
work.
is our garden. So.
That is great. I'm excited to be a part of this. Thank
Yes.
you all.
So I guess unless we have anything else, we want to give you. Yes, ma'am.
I did want to ask, okay, so I submitted my application. When do you find out as the promoter, or can I just start sending the
You can start
information out?
promoting right now.
Okay.
You can
I
start
just wanted to
promoting
make sure
right
it was
now.
okay.
If you are applying to be an ambassador, then the applications close on the 31st of March, and then the committee will start reviewing those.
Okay, because I want to
But
encourage.
you can start promoting right now.
Okay, all right, because we have our upcoming ministers conference in our district, and I want to encourage the ministers to share that with their congregations.
Great.
And their young people and matrons in their churches.
Great. Camille, you have anything else?
No, I'm just so happy that you guys all joined us on this afternoon, and it's a beautiful day. Go get out there, be socially distant, and peace and blessings to you and your families as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Camille.
Thank you
Good job.
all. It was a
All righty,
pleasure
bye-bye.
meeting you all.
Thank
Bye-bye.
It's a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.